trucks. He hurt him bad.
Beautiful. Oh, that's beautiful. He's got it. And he forced the tap. Wow.
Here's the submission, and it's all over. It's all over. First round knockout. Is how Rick Franklin retains his belt.
The one thing that I never thought in a million years would happen happened.
The champion, the challenger. Here we go.
This is the MMA Report with Jason Floyd on Radio Influence.
Welcome into the MMA Report podcast right here on Radio Influence, along with talking about what happened at the inaugural events at Rizin in Japan. We have 3 interviews for you here on this edition of the show. All 3 guys are going to be fighting at Shamrock FC Assault on January 16th. You'll hear from Tyson Hicks, Kent Hooten, and Chris Heavner, all going to be on that preliminary card, which of course will be a part that you can watch on ShamrockFightingChampionships.com. Along with those interviews, you are going to hear scrums from Robbie Lawler, Carlos Condit, and Andre Arlovsky. Of course, all those guys fighting on Saturday night, UFC 195. Also, you're going to hear from Michael McDonald, who is going to be returning to the octagon for the first time in over 2 years. And also, you're going to hear from Kimbo Slice and Dada 5000, as both those guys took part in a recent Bellator Media Day where they did talk to the media. So you're going to hear all that coming up here on this edition of the MMA Report podcast. We'll also get into some of your questions. More interview left for you here on this edition of the MMA Report podcast, and it is with Chris Heavner, who's going to be taking on Joel Ettenberg. Had a chance to catch up with Chris to talk to him about his career, and also he has an interesting story of actually how he became an MMA fighter. Coming up here in 2 weeks from now, it's going to be Shamrock FC Assault from the Ameristar Casino in Kansas City, Missouri. Of course, this event, if you're not in the Kansas City area, you can watch on ShamrockFightingChampionships.com. All the information there on the internet. Pay-per-view is right there on their website. We're now joined by a man that's going to be on the preliminary card taking on Joel Ettenberg. Is Chris Heavner, who is 1-6 in his career. And Chris, I appreciate the time. First off, I've heard there's a pretty interesting story that essentially you got into fighting because your younger brother was a fighter, and basically it was cheaper to fight as opposed to buy a ticket.
Yeah, man, that's true. My little brother Harley Heavner was fighting for J.K. Killian Branson down in, he fought Michael Heckert, and he snapped his own femur. And I didn't want to miss another fight, so I was like, well, hey, little brother, can I fight for free? Do they give me tickets? And they said, yeah, you get a couple tickets free if you fight. So that's where I came in, yeah.
And your fighting style is you like to stand in there and you want to trade strikes, and you've kind of labeled yourself as you're kind of a mix between Conor McGregor and Mike Tyson?
Yeah, I just got a big mouth and I hit real hard, man. That's pretty much that. You know, I don't get a lot of training in, so I'm definitely not on McGregor's level of that. Or, you know, I'm a little bit nicer than Mike, but yeah, I hit pretty damn hard for my weight class, or pretty much anyone I fought at, which is this would be my 3rd weight class I fought at. So, yeah, man, a little bit of that for sure. A little bit of wild, unorthodox strikes and stuff.
You fought at 170, fought at 155. This is at 145 pounds. What is it? Just something that as you get more fights into your career, you kind of realize what weight class you should be at?
Yeah, I'm just I actually had an injury and I had some food poisoning issues. And I lost my little bit of belly that I had. I could never get rid of, and I was like, well, I might as well do 145 because you know they don't want me punching at 170, so I know 145 is not gonna like it.
Has it been frustrating at all dealing with the injuries, because obviously you want to be in there competing? Yeah, man, actually it has, because kind of like medicine, you know, I'm a little bit honored, so getting in there and getting some of that, you know, that venom out helps out. So it's been a few months now. I'm just ready to get back in there and do it for sure. In terms of, you mentioned about maybe not being able to get as much training in, how hard is it to balance your schedule in terms of the day job and also preparing for fights? And right now, I'm just kind of running amok in between Iowa and Missouri. I met a girl in Iowa, and we've been going back and forth through Christmas and birthdays for all the kids, and I really haven't had a chance to breathe, but we have been getting sparring in the mornings, working on my hands, and just, you know, keeping it crisp, man. In terms of your opponent here, Joel, have you had an opportunity to even see any film on him to kind of get maybe a general understanding of what he's going to bring to the cage on January 16th?
Man, I've looked on Sherdog, Capology. I've looked on Google. I'm pretty good at finding things on there. I do that a lot. So I haven't found a fight or any, really. I've seen his picture. That was enough to make me not worried, but, that's whatever. But yeah, I haven't seen the video, man, and like I said, at 145, I really doubt anybody's going to stand in there with me. So.
Is that one of the hardest things about taking amateur fights? Is sometimes you may not even know, like, hey, how the guy stands. Is that maybe one of the hardest things you have to go through?
Yeah, I think pretty much other than this cat, I've really got to look at most everybody I've fought a little bit. I fought Brian Adams in Osage Beach about a year and a half ago, and I'd never seen him up until then. But yeah, I mean, it is because, no pro record, there's not a lot of big coverage fights, and, you kind of have to look through their Facebook and see what their mama videoed and all this and that, and I can't find nothing on Jules, so we're just bringing it.
Is it kind of, but do you have that mentality of, you want to know what your opponent does, but this is about what I'm going to go in there and do. It's not about what he's going to try to do to me.
That's true, man. That's for sure. I mean, I got pretty much style game plan, just stand up, and I can go down with him. It's pretty buck-ass strong. So really, any weight class other than, light heavyweight, I'm pretty sure I could take about whatever they throw at me. So yeah, definitely it's more about what I'm going to do on this. It's going to be quick, man, honestly.
Why do you think it'll be quick?
Because I've got a lot of love in his right hand coming for him, so...
Is there a favorite type of a punch that you have that you say, you know what, if I see the opening, this is the punch I'm going for?
It's just pretty much, man, I have a few fights where they don't want to touch gloves and what they do and they don't, man. And even if they do, I'll tap their glove and I'll step back and then I'm coming. Like, I'm coming, so they better fucking hang on or put their hands up because I'm pretty much taking them across the cage right off the bat.
If a fighter doesn't touch your gloves, but before the fight starts, does that piss you off at all?
Instantaneously, yeah. You don't think it's gonna happen, but it did my last fight for Shamrock, so it didn't piss me off. I kind of my opponent was cool. He's a cool cat, but yeah, like I went out there, my hand up, and he didn't have his hand up, so I dropped it, and about 2 seconds in, I had him bleeding from the eyebrow, so.
In terms of the fights that you have not been able to get the victory in, what are some major? Do you take any major lessons from those fights?
Absolutely, man. Watch my neck, protect my neck, and I pretty much have figured that nobody wants to stand up, so they're all going to take me down and try to grab my neck. That's about all they're going to get. I'm pretty much pushing the whole time. So triangles are kind of. I've had to practice, work on triangle defense and rear naked defense and all that, and keep my shoulders up, cover my ears, my neck, and punches don't really hurt, especially if this is a little weight I'm fighting at now. So, yeah, I just take it until I get up and get through it and get back on top.
When guys are going different weight classes, they'll say there's advantages, disadvantages, that they may carry with them from one weight class or may not carry with them. But do you kind of feel like power is going to be the biggest advantage that you're going to have coming down to 145?
It's really like I'm quicker. I'm pretty much just super fast, which brings the power. So, and it's rotation of my hips and all the body movement, man. I do think I would surprise anybody at that weight class for sure. Because speed, power, just charisma, and I go into with a smile, man. I'm calm as a cucumber before I walk in that cage, and so yeah, anybody that's nervous or worried about my right or my left or my feet, they got a problem.
Obviously, the goal is to go out there and get the win here on January 16th. But do you start kind of think ahead past this fight of what you want to accomplish in 2016 in the sport? Yeah,
I do, man. For real, I would like to get a few amateur wins, actually get them quick knockouts, and go ahead and make that jump and say, here we go, pro. And at least do that. I'm 34 years old. I just started. It's almost 2 years now, so I ain't got a lot left before, these younger guys just start whooping my ass all over. So, yeah, I'm pretty much want to get some major wins in, man. Get some video for my kid to see one day, and that's about all you can ask for.
What's your biggest motivations in the sport?
Motivations are definitely my kids. Just showing them you can do whatever you want on earth, man. If you just put your mind to it, and that's what you believe you're going to do, you can walk out there and do it. So.
And, of course, you'll be able to see Chris at Shamrock Fighting Championships Assault on January 16th at the Maristar Casino in Kansas City, Missouri. Tickets available at cagetix.com. Chris, I really appreciate the time, man.
Well, thank you, man.
And that was Chris Heavner. I appreciate him taking some time out to talk to me about how he got his start in mixed martial arts, and good luck to him coming up here at Shamrock Fighting Championships Assault. We're now going to turn our attention.